Have you ever had one of those nights where cooking feels next to impossible, but you don't want to order DoorDash? These are the recipes you need to make. All right, first recipe we're making, and we're making 3 recipes today. First one is Italian tuna salad. So I had dishes like this growing up all the time. My grandmother would always do this, and she would make it in all different ways. I'm going to show you one of the ways she made it. This one is with lemon juice as the acidic component to it. This is healthier than a deli tuna salad. It's very different and very fresh, I would say. I'm using Italian tuna, yellowfin tuna packed in olive oil. So these cans are 5 ounces. The net drained weight is 4 ounces, a little bit less. 3 cans will give us roughly 3/4 pound of tuna. If you don't want to use this type of tuna, you can use less expensive ones. You can use albacore that is packed in water. You'll just have to add a lot more olive oil to it. And often with these, even packed in olive oil, I'll drain it because I like to add like a better extra virgin olive oil myself. This is by no means an expensive version of the yellowfin tuna. You'll go to the store, sometimes you'll see cans or jars that are like $15. Now this is the same brand. These are Tonino brand, and they're definitely middle of the road, I would say, expense-wise. So this jar, they give you the big fillets here. It'll be sold in either a jar or a can, but there's ones that are very expensive, and I don't really buy those. If you go to Costco, you can get these. I think it's Genova brand, and it's a really good deal. They sell like really big cans. In addition to the tuna, I have a 1/2 cup of diced red onion, 1/2 cup of flat leaf Italian parsley. That's minced. This is more than 1/2 cup, but use as much or as little as you like in this recipe. I started with the juice of 1 lemon, so that's going to be 3 to 4 tablespoons, depending on the size of the lemon you have. I have another lemon in reserve if we need it. Extra virgin olive oil. I have baby arugula. Recipe says 4 ounces. This pack is 5 ounces, so I'll just use the whole pack here. And then 2 cans, 15-ounce cans of cannellini beans that we're going to drain, and we're going to make it right now. All right, so these cans, you just crack them open, and you get the nice tuna, and it's packed in olive oil there. So you can drain these and use better extra virgin olive oil if you like. I'm just going to use the olive oil that's in here, and I'll probably add a little bit more because really that's our whole component here in this. Just, you know, a lot of olive oil and the acid from the lemon juice.
I love this recipe because there is 0 cooking involved.
0 cooking on this one, and it lasts during the week. So what I'll do is I'll make a lot of this. I love this for like a post-workout meal, you know, when I get back from the gym. Just like an easy lunch. Extremely easy. I would eat tuna every day like this, but they say you shouldn't eat it every day because of mercury. I mix it up. I'll do tuna on one day. I'll do grilled chicken on another day. I do a lot of sardines. That's not your favorite, right, Tara?
I've been trying to eat them because I know they're so good for you. I need a lot of hot sauce.
I just eat them right from the can. I just put a little Tabasco on them, you know. I don't get into the fancy sardines. Like Tara's like got this, what was the name of the brand? Fish Life?
I only bought it once. It was too expensive.
$10 a can for that? I mean.
No, Whole Foods had it for like $7.99.
Yeah, no, I just buy the $2 cans. Like I'll get whatever is in the store.
Cento
packed in olive oil. Yep, Centos are about $2 a can. And I eat those a lot. I think it's all the same, you know. Paying for the marketing for brands like that. Because those brands are advertising nonstop on Instagram with influencers. Same thing with like that green olive oil. That's nonstop advertising.
Graza.
You know? Graza.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing with my fork here is I'm going to flake it. Now, this is up to you. Like you can stop at this point, which is probably what I'll do. Or you can really flake it. You can get gloves on and then, you know, you can mush it like you would do for like a deli tuna salad. But I prefer a little bit of texture in this. So that's where I'm going to stop. Okay, and then I just drained the beans. These beans are from Whole Foods. They're definitely on the mushy side. If you do your own beans, definitely will have a little bit more texture in there. But most beans I buy in a can are not like this. So 1/2 cup of diced red onion. And then I'm going to start with about that much parsley. This is the juice of 1 lemon. That's about 4 tablespoons there, I would say. So my grandmother would often do this with lemon juice, but she would also do it with red wine vinegar. So you could just substitute 1 for 1, the red wine vinegar. She would also put dried oregano in it, which was nice. And then during the summer, we would just take like herbs. You could put any herb you want in it. That tuna did not have too much olive oil. Sometimes you get a can, there's like way more. So I'm definitely going to need to add more olive oil in here. So if you follow my recipe and you drain them completely, especially if like you're unsure of the quality of it, you're going to need about 1/2 cup of oil, especially when you add the arugula into it. You don't want that to be too dry.
I think you need a bigger boat.
Yeah, I know. I should have went with the bigger one. That's how you make easy food during the week with lots of dishes.
Couldn't you have just plated the arugula and like put the...
I like it to saturate it a little bit, but
Okay.
and honestly, so arugula is hearty enough that this is what's good about it. You can put this in the fridge for multiple days and it'll still be fine to eat. Versus a lot of lettuce, like different greens, you would never dress them and put them in. You know, when you take a leftover salad that's dressed, it's not good the next day.
Yeah.
But for this one, you almost want the arugula to wilt a little bit in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now that I have a bigger one, I'm just going to use all of it. You know, I never trust, like when you buy these, it says triple washed.
Yeah.
Like it says like 10 times washed.
Yeah.
Don't trust it.
No, I don't either.
I always run it through a salad spinner, then dry it. Just so you know, a lot of you ask questions about it. My normal, like everyday oil is Partana extra virgin olive oil. I use this most of the time for cooking and for salads and stuff. And then this oil, Frantoia Barbera, I only use for like a salad. Like I don't cook with it. Some chefs, restaurants will cook with this, but I think that's quite overkill. And it's just, I don't even think this oil is really intended for that.
It's a finishing oil.
Yeah.
It's good on top of like drizzled on top of pasta, like when it's done, or soups.
So the price of everything has gone up dramatically. When I started recommending this about 7 years ago, it was probably $50 for the big can. How much is in that can? I think it's like almost 3 liters. Or 3.5 liters. And I would buy one of them for 50, and then I would just fill up this 1 liter jar all the time, just so I could show you. But now I think it was like 90 the last time I checked. So, you know, it's olive oil. Good olive oil is not cheap. Really bad olive oil is not cheap either, like I was saying before. Like, so it just, you know, if an influencer, you know, recommending something doesn't mean it's good. I have no idea where that oil comes from, but I can assure you it is 100% nowhere near as good as that olive oil that I just used. Yeah. But this company doesn't do, you know, they don't do marketing and stuff like that. All right, we're going to wrap this up and we're going to put it in the fridge and we're going to make recipe number 2. Okay, the next one, and this is the one that will keep the longest in your fridge and is just perfect. And for any time you really don't want to cook at all, is Deli egg salad. I'm using hard-boiled eggs that I already bought from the store. This is going to make it even quicker because sometimes you don't even want to hard-boil your eggs and peel them. I get it, you know. So if you wanted to go that route, you're going to need 12 eggs, and obviously it will be less expensive if you go that route too. We're starting with 12 eggs, and I'm just using my standard New York Deli egg salad recipe. That calls for a 1/4 cup of diced celery. Today I'm going to add probably 3/4 cup of diced celery because I'm making it the way I want to today. I had 3 tablespoons of green onion, but I probably have a little bit more than a 1/4 cup here. You can increase these amounts as much as you want, and it's still going to be the same, provided you're doing the same sauce ingredients. So I have a 1/2 cup of extra heavy mayo. You could use regular mayo too. If you want extra heavy, the smallest container I've been able to find is on Amazon. It's Hellman's brand. It's 1 gallon. I'll link it. Delis use either that brand or they're using generic Restaurant Depot extra heavy mayo, Cisco, whatever. You're going to have 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and vinegar is a very important component here. We might need to add a little bit more. For most of the deli salads, they're always using vinegar as their acidic component. They're not using lemon juice. So for this one, yeah, you're going to use vinegar. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. That will add a little bit of acidity to it as well. 1 1/4 teaspoon of Diamond Crystal Kosher salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. All these ingredients are the same ingredients that were put in my standard New York Deli egg salad recipe that there's already a video for. You might have seen that video in the past. The one thing I'm going to change up today is I'm going to add in dill. So I have over 1/2 cup of minced dill here, fresh dill. It really freshens it up, lightens it up. And we'll see what the taste tester thinks with it in there. Another herb that is really nice to put in egg salad is tarragon. I wouldn't use both at the same time. I would use one or the other. They're very different flavors. And if you want to keep it as a standard deli egg salad, omit this and just use the other ingredients. All right, so I just took them out of the bag. They come in a little bit of a solution, so just dry them off a little bit. And then all I'm going to do here is just rough chop these just into like a couple pieces. By the way, for the previous tuna salad, I forgot to tell you, season that with a little bit of salt and pepper. Tuna has a good amount of salt in it already, but season that with salt and pepper to taste, and you could always re-season when it comes out. All right, so for these, I have the Bro gloves on. All right, this is like essentially the time to use gloves. You could do this two ways. You can use this side of the bowl scraper here, and you can just get in here and start chopping it. Now, this is going to be totally a personal preference thing, but I do prefer my egg salad to be fairly on the mushy side, like smooth side. How do you feel?
100%.
100%, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I know you'd be like, well, why don't I just throw it in a food processor? You can do that. I mean, just be careful you don't turn it to complete mush. This will give you a little bit of a head start, but honestly, the easier way is just to take these in your hand and just go like this. Okay, so then it's all just going to get the consistency that you want from your egg salad. This is how delis do it. If you don't do enough at this point, you can still do it later, even with your celery in there. Put about that much to start. That was a little bit of the celery, a little bit more than a quarter cup, about 3 or 4 tablespoons of green onion. That is 1 1/4 teaspoon of Diamond Crystal Kosher salt and 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of distilled white vinegar, and then a 1/2 cup of extra heavy mayo, but definitely use the regular mayo if you don't want to buy a monster container of extra heavy mayo. All right, so let's mix this around. Now, I like to start with these ratios of the mayo and then just add more if I need to. And then I'm going to taste it, and I want it for acidity and add more vinegar if I need to, but just a little bit, you know, don't go overboard with it. I'm going to taste for salt and pepper. That is good. Start with about that much dill tower. I know you want me to put it all in there, right?
No, just see how it is.
The store-bought eggs, they're on the small side. You know, when you get like your own eggs, I feel like they were a lot bigger.
Yeah.
You know? I don't ever use these really. You get them occasionally, right? Just to like eat a few of them.
Yeah.
Perfect, right? Does it need more dill or not?
No,
I'm sure I could add more.
Honestly, I don't think it needs more dill.
It's good.
That is so good.
I'm going to add in all that green onion and all the celery because why not? And honestly, I think I could have mashed these eggs up more, but it's okay.
I think it's so good.
All right, so with any deli salad, it's going to be infinitely better if you put it in the fridge overnight. And then when you take it out the next day, if it's a little dry again, just add a little bit more mayo to rejudge it, and then it'll be good to go. But for something like this, it's probably gonna be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean the whole point of this dish is that you make a quick stop at the grocery store, bring it home, make it, and then eat it.
Absolutely.
It's delicious right now.
All right, the next one is quite possibly the easiest pasta sauce. Now, you do have to cook it, okay? But this is kind of set it and forget, and you will see in a second what I mean. There are only 3 ingredients in this sauce. One of the ingredients is butter. Okay, we're going to start with 6 tablespoons. Might need to add a couple more. 1 onion, just a medium onion. Yellow onion's fine. You can use white onion, doesn't matter. And then 1 can of tomatoes. You can also use passata for it. Passata is just tomato puree. Okay, but it's most of the time, especially if you're buying an Italian brand, it'll always just say passata on it. So passata is just, it's a puree, it's a little thicker, so that will speed up your cooking process a little bit. So if you go out and buy a jar of this, you're not going to have to let it simmer as long, but a can is probably going to be a little cheaper for you depending on what brand you buy. And you can use crushed tomatoes, okay, just like a can of crushed tomatoes, or you can use a can of whole tomatoes. That's up to you. I'm going to go with the whole tomatoes. I just wanted to show you the options here. And really, this sauce can be served with any type of pasta. So I like it with fettuccine, but I also like it with rigatoni. But it would be great with spaghetti, linguine, really anything. It's because it's fairly rich. So even though it's tomato sauce, it can use a thick, very thick pasta for it. And the richness comes from this butter. All right, let's make it. All you have to do is put everything in a pot, sauce pot. I'm going to keep it in a pan like this. This is a 4-quart or a 5-quart high wall Tefal jumbo cooker, I think it's called. This is going to allow me then to finish, after our sauce is done, we can just add our pasta in there and finish it right in there. This recipe is Marcella Hazan's famous, 3-ingredient tomato butter sauce. So I made a video a long time ago inspired by her where I used cherry tomatoes and we cut up the onion. We made it a little bit fancier. Great recipe too. That recipe did phenomenally on the channel. I think it has 4 million views. And I think part of it is just because it's just so simple. And people are always looking for simple recipes. Because we're making the original Marcella Hazan one. You don't even have to saute anything, okay? You can just throw these tomatoes right in here. Just going to turn the heat to medium. And by the way, that cherry tomato recipe, the adaptation of hers is in the cookbook, which is right there. You could buy it here. You could buy it here. You know, people love that. Of course, we credit her in the cookbook for that recipe. And I think anybody who makes recipe, you know, that's like, you know, you're doing the exact recipe that someone else made, you should give them credit. Okay. I just cut the onion in half. I think she leaves it whole. Doesn't matter. And at the end, you can eat the onion or you can take it out. If you want.
think she, in her recipe, she takes it out. She doesn't say what to, like the.
Yeah, she probably discards it.
Yeah.
So I just put a little bit of water in the can here because there's a lot of thick puree in there. So we'll just get that out of there as well.
If I was making this, I would definitely use the crushed because you're eliminating a step.
What would you use?
The crushed tomatoes, because you're eliminating a step.
So what I think she says in the recipe, and I couldn't find her original recipe. Online, it's just everybody who has her recipe on there. But I believe she says you could puree it at the end. So that's what we're going to do here with this. Okay. Kind of telling you now off the bat. So that saves you time too by not having to do it in the beginning. Okay, I'm just wiping down the inside of the can here just to get all that good tomato. All right, so I'm just going to bring this to a lively simmer.
So I shopped for all the ingredients that we're using for this video today. And I'm not kidding you. I was in and out of the store in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
For the 3 recipes.
I'm putting in about a teaspoon of salt in here right now to start. All right, so it's coming to a boil. Just to get it going initially, I'm just going to break up these tomatoes a little bit. All right, so we're just going to let it simmer like this. So basically very low bubbles. And what's going to happen is it'll just concentrate and it'll get a good flavor. I would say for whole tomatoes like I'm using here, maybe 30 to 45 minutes is fine. If you use passata, it would take even less. And it's just the butter and everything, it's going to turn it into a wonderful sauce. Butter is actually one of the defining differences with Italian cooking versus Italian American cooking. So like Southern Italian cooking, it's all olive oil, almost always, for everything. But almost all Italian restaurants, Italian American restaurants, you go into the US, they will use lots of butter, okay? They'll use it, they'll finish sauces with it. Even had a little thing in Sopranos, I think, when Ralphie was like cooking pasta and I forget for who, and he's like, the trick is to add, you know, a nice knob of butter at the end, like kind of like giving away like the secret of it. It's a huge distinction because you'll just go to a restaurant and it'll always be like, has that rich flavor, and you just don't get that with the olive oil. You know, there's a time and place for both of them. I cook with more olive oil than butter in Italian cooking, but obviously if you're cooking French, you're cooking with lots of butter. So Tara's reading more about Marcella Azan. She's educating me.
The thing I found most interesting was that when she retired, her and her husband moved to the Florida Keys, and she found she could no longer get some of the ingredients that she was used to getting when she lived in New York. So she decided to write a cookbook for people who were in that same sort of situation. And that book is called Marcella Says, and that was published in 2004.
It's funny, when we moved to Minnesota, I couldn't really find the ingredients. Yeah. And that's when I started all this. I started everything in 2018. We moved there in 2015. Maybe I started this in 2017, but you know, I had plans, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to start doing like a food blog. That's how I started. I wasn't making videos initially. I was like, you know, I can't really go with the food that I grew up eating because it's just too hard to access the stuff. And we lived in a populated area of the state. And even when I could find the ingredients, and this is why I am very sympathetic to prices and everything, when people are like, you know, you get all this stuff and you're getting those tomatoes for $2 a can. When we were in Minnesota at the time, the local supermarkets that were there, and we had a Byerly's and we had Whole Foods. And the tomatoes were very expensive at either place. I mean, at that time, you know, 2015, they were like $5, $6 a can. I don't even know what they are now, but you know, the places here in New York, they use tomatoes a lot of times as loss leaders. So they're selling them below their cost, just, you know, as an end cap or whatever, just trying to get people to then buy other stuff. But it was like that for a lot of ingredients. Certain things like I just couldn't get. So I would use Amazon. I would order what I needed. But when we moved back here is when I made the decision to make predominantly the Italian American food that I grew up with, because, you know, there's no better place to get the ingredients than this part of the country. All right, so I'm just regulating my heat, lowering it just a touch at a time. to where I get tiny bubbles. If you feel like you're evaporating too quickly, just put a cover over it, and then you can just crack the lid a little bit. This isn't the right cover for this pot, but yeah, just like that, just to leave it open a little bit. You can lower it even more. All right, so this has been going for about 25 minutes. See the consistency of it? That's on very low heat. We're just letting it simmer very, very gently. Let it go for another at least 10 minutes. I would say at this point, get your water to boil. Okay, salted water to boil, and boil your favorite pasta. All right, I'm gonna use fettuccine, which is the same one I used in the cherry tomato butter sauce video, but any pasta you like, you can use here. All right, I'm just gonna move this off to the side for a bit, and let's make the egg salad sandwich. You know what we should have done? We should have got some lettuce. Oh, you have the.
I have microgreens.
Do you want to put? Do you think he's gonna like the microgreens? We'll do it.
Yeah,
We'll see what he says.
So good.
Yeah. All right, I just have a sheet here. I'll do a little standard deli wrap, which is a nice way to keep a sandwich together, especially with bread that looks like this. It's like cool looking bread, but it's pushes out a lot on the sides. So this one I already tasted. This doesn't need any more salt or pepper. Maybe a little bit on the salty side, maybe a little bit less salt. You tried it, Tara. Do you think it had too much salt in it?
No, I thought it was perfect.
Perfect?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna take it like this, put these two pieces together, fold this way, fold that way. So the sandwich is perfect now, waiting for him.
We all know that he's just going to go right for the pasta.
Probably right. I could probably already predict what he's going to, the rankings will be for each one, but, you know, we'll try. Since this is like getting towards that 30-minute mark, I'm going to boil the pasta now to al dente, or even a little touch less than al dente. So we'll just finish it in the sauce for the last 30 seconds or so. So my pasta is a few minutes from being finished. Just going to take the lid off here. And I'm going to take the onion out. You can eat this onion too, especially if you do it in a sauce pot. Doing a sauce pot like this, something narrower, you'll get full submergence of that onion. Now you can keep it very rustic and not even do anything with the tomato here. You can leave it like this. You can mash it a little bit with a masher or the back of your wooden spoon, or you can puree it smooth. So I love this. I just have a KitchenAid cordless, and it has this little thing on here so you won't damage a pan like this. So I'll just pulse a little bit. This still isn't the best because it's so flat to do it, but it'll be all right. You know what? Let's turn it a little sideways. That's pretty good. It leaves a little bit of texture in there, but you can see by doing that how the sauce now almost has like that orangey hue to it. Okay, and that's the consistency that we have right now. All right, let's just give it a taste test. Doesn't need any salt. That salt I put in was enough. Might have been touched too much, but that's good. All the different cans of tomatoes you buy, passata, whatever, are gonna have different sodium, so keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn up the heat a little bit now on this to maybe like a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Pasta's on the al dente side. You know what, we might have a little too much sauce here actually, which is not typical from one can. I think it's the right amount. What I'm gonna do is just take a touch out on the side. Okay, and you can save a little bit of pasta water, but you're not gonna really need it for something like this. I always save it. So before I drain this, I just took over a cup out, but you're not gonna need it. Not for this. All right, I just turned it off because I think the pasta is pretty much done. That's perfect, it's done. So you can make it fancy here. You can add a little bit of basil. I'll probably do that for the picture, but doesn't need it. A little parsley in there if you want. And then I would serve it with grated cheese, either Parmigiano Reggiano or Pecorino. I got a block of Parm right here. So we'll see if the taste tester wants it or not. But that is the easiest pasta sauce. And you can make this the day before. Just have it waiting in your fridge. And then when you get home, you just boil your pasta. You can make a vat of this sauce and save it in the freezer. What do you think?
They all look really good, honestly.
All right.
I'll try this one first.
Well, you can obviously tell what that is.
Egg salad, yeah.
Yep.
I love egg salad. See, there's dill on it, though. Not the biggest fan of dill.
And there's microgreens on it, too. So probably not too big a fan of those either, right?
I mean, they taste like nothing. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It's actually good, even with the dough. Is there like cucumber in it too?
Sauce on there.
Celery and green
Celery.
onion.
Celery, green onion, yep.
This looks like different from regular tuna salad.
Yeah, healthy tuna salad.
Yeah.
Italian style with lemon juice.
That's how your great grandma used to make it for daddy.
Yeah, she would make it with
the
red wine
beans.
vinegar also, too.
There's beans in it too, James.
Yeah. You saw it like the canned tuna that we have. I'm just getting like a lot of that. I like how like the arugula goes with it, like how it's crunchy with the like softness. I do think that deli tuna is a little better, but this is like healthier and easier.
Deli tuna is so good.
All right, we got butter, tomato, pasta. That's really good.
Before you rate it, do you want to know what like the angle of this video was?
Yeah, sure.
So we wanted to give people like 3 things that they could make when they're too tired to cook. Like if they worked a long day, if they had like a bad commute home, and instead of spending, $100 on DoorDash, they can make a quick stop at the grocery store, pick up these things, and put them together really quick. And they're all kind of relatively healthy.
These are so good and like so easy. Like I would say like this one's probably not really healthy. Same with this. So like we make this one if you're going for that. Yeah, these are all honestly like really good. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. And I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10.
And if it didn't have dill, this would have done better?
Yeah, if that didn't have dill, it probably would have been like a 9.5, 10.
Yeah.
It's just such a big difference for me. It's just like, it's just not my thing, you know? Like, I get how people like it. Like, I can tell when I'm eating it. Like, I'm not, like, picky with anything. Like, even though, like, I don't like dill, I still eat it. The only thing that I can't eat, and this is, like, really niche, is breadcrumbs. Those, like, breadcrumbs on, like, mac and cheese, they just make me nauseous.
I mean, anything else to say here, or you just like them? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, like I said, this is because of the dill, why it's less good. But if you like dill, I could see this being, like, really good, like a 10 out of 10 for you. So I would definitely make that. And it's still really good, like, to me still. This, really healthy. Like, I'm guessing, I don't know exactly what I did, but, like, I'm guessing you just kind of, like, toss the arugula with the canned tuna and put some, like, canned beans in there, right?
Pretty much it. Yep.
So easy. Definitely, in my opinion, definitely the easiest one to make. You don't even have to, like, cook, really. Like, I mean, either with this one, but that one's, like, a little hard. This one, it's in my opinion, the best one, but it's probably the least healthy and probably the hardest to make out of all these. Not that any of them are hard,
it's easy still. Let's have the onion still, too, if you want to eat an onion.
Yeah,
later.
I do really like the butter and tomato combo. I still do think, though, that, like, regular butter pasta or,
butter with Parmesan cheese.
Yeah. Or, just marinara is better. And
oh, I had the Parmesan cheese. I was supposed to offer it to you. Oh, well.
And honestly, they're probably just as easy. So you get to decide whichever one you like the most. Try all of them.
Yeah. All right, James, we appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming down, as always, for tasting. I think you should see maybe you can get a job offering your services to other channels and then say, you want me to review.
Yeah, if anyone wants to take me.
Yeah, they might. They might. I mean, he's honest. There's been some not the best ratings lately, but that's what we try to do on this channel. We appreciate you coming here. If you like this type of concept, that very, very little cooking involved, that I think solves a problem, we'll do more of them. But just leave in the comments, let us know. And until next week, we'll see you.